What do you mean the guitars are too loud? The guitars can never be too loud. Maybe they're a little bit loud. Alright, so welcome back. So this is a follow-up video to my Sunday Jam video from this past Sunday. On that video we listened to the new song I have called Let's Go, and I asked for feedback from folks so I could make the song better. I put this video on a couple different Facebook groups, some guitar specific groups, and then some mixing, mastering, audio engineering type groups, and I really appreciate everyone that put in some feedback so far because it's been very helpful. Overwhelmingly, the consensus was we like the song, we like the guitar solos, we like how the guitars sound, we like how the drums sound a lot. The problem is the drums go away as soon as the guitars come on, and then the vocals and the lead guitars, they just get all the low end comes out of the drums. So that's the feedback I got, and I initially got that feedback early on when I was recording this song in some earlier videos. One person said, the guitars are just way too loud, you gotta bring them back, and I thought I did that. But being a guitar player, we like to have the guitars loud. You would think after all these years of, well, when I was a kid, my mom would come into my bedroom and be like, Arlo, you've got to turn down those guitars. They're too loud. The neighbors can hear them. Just bring it down. But no, I'm still turning it up. And even the last show I played back in February with my band Jack's Farm, we played in this 500-seat theater, sold out, excited, nice big stage. And we go to sound check, and of course I'm diming my Marshall amps, and the monitor engineer's like, no. I played like one chord. He's like, no, that's way too loud. So I play loud. It's funny, our drummer, the monitor guy said, you're way too loud, and I think it was our drummer was like, well, that's what we're here for, man. It was Chris, I think, said that. He's pretty funny. So I'm going to show you a couple things in here real quick, but again, the feedback I got was there was Andy Selway and Bill Davey on a TuneTrack software group. It's the drum software I use. They both said, love the drums, they sound very good, but then they're drowned out by guitars. So thank you, Andy and Bill, for telling me that. And then Christian Liefeld, he's on Home Recording Studio, another group. He echoed the same thing, that just the bass and drums weren't punching through enough because the guitars were just kind of swallowing everything up. And then my buddy Charlie Roy, who's on Mixing, Mastering, Trips and Tricks. I've been talking to Charlie a lot in these groups, and he's been real helpful. He's given me a couple tips already. I've been reading some of his other tips on that Mixing, Mastering, Trips and Tricks group, and he said the same thing. He's like, I love the guitar solos, I like how they sound, but man, they're just too loud. And he's like, you got to just bring up that drum bus and then bring the guitars down. He echoed he told me a story where he had somebody else was mixing one of his albums, and it was the same thing. Guitars were super loud, and the guy kept pulling them down. He's like, what are you doing? You're pulling the guitars way out. He's like, no, you'll see. Like, you just can't have them blasting because it's going to kill the drums. And then Charlie's like, so from then on, I think he had it sounds like Charlie knows the levels that he needs it to have it. He did say, though, that the guy was a keyboard player, and then he made the keyboards real loud. So it's, we're always fighting for what the sounds we love. But, now that I'm moving this new phase of mixing, I need to make sure I'm doing everything. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we can do here. So first, just have a quick listen, and you'll see just what everybody's talking about with the guitars being too loud here, right? So we'll just... yeah, guitars are loud, and even as the song goes on, once you have the vocals on, and you add on the guitar solos, then the drums really get sucked out of there. So take a look here where stuff's, you can already see, like I pulled the drum bus down here some. I have this parallel drum compressor too, which has like the kick and the snare on it. So this is pulled down. I've got the vocals, you know, set at 0, and I've got the bus guitars. It looks like they're set pretty low, but they're pretty hot in the mix. So just take a look here, and you'll see. I'll kind of highlight where the guitars are at now, and you can just take a look on this side here. So guitars are like -12 right there, right? Where are our drums at? You say the drums are kind of kissing. They're not hitting -6 yet. They're still below that a good bit. And then I got the vocal, you know, still set at 0 here. So I'm going to make a couple quick moves here, and there's something else, a little trick type thing that I think came out really good. So what if we just get the drums back to 0 here? I'm going to leave the parallel drum comp where it is, and then we're going to pull down the guitars, and we're going to get these guitars to where they're kind of kissing -18 instead of kissing -12. So let's start with that. You want to love me, but I don't really care. It's too late to fix. Okay, so now we pulled them down. They weren't hitting -12, they're hitting -18 here. And let's just see real quick at the beginning when they come in, make sure they're not just like, the guitars are not gone now. Definitely much quieter there. That sounds like really way too quiet to me, but I want to know from you guys what you think, because it's probably right now. But I just got to get comfortable having the guitar set there. So I'm going to leave them there, and we're going to leave the drums here, and then I'll probably start feeding in some of this drum, compressed drum here too, the parallel drum, just to get the drums cranking a little bit more even. Let's do that real fast. You know what? One thing I wanted to do with that too is I do have on that parallel drum, let's just kind of push the output on this a little bit more instead of pushing the fader. Let's leave the fader where it's at, and let's just push this up a little bit. You say you want to love me, but turn it up a couple clicks here. You can really turn it up a lot more, and you can hear the drums kick through even more. So we're going to leave that just with the 2 bumps we did there in the compressor on that parallel drum comp. I think that brings it through really nice. Now, and I'm going to bring down the vocal a little bit, and I'll bring down the lead guitars a little bit. And then the other thing I saw another video with Ken Andrews from the band Failure, and he was saying he likes to use the comp on the master bus here, and then he'll use, and I've got it one on there because I had the Scheps on my master bus. I use this stereo bus preset they had in there, mostly to some EQ. It kind of created some air on top. And here, let me play it for you just so you can hear. I'll turn it off, and then I'll turn it back on so you can hear the difference. So this is with the Scheps off on the stereo bus. It's too late to figure this out now. Relax, let go of your cares. It's as good as it's ever. So that's with it off. Let me turn it on. Gonna be, you gotta learn to roll with me. Let's go. So it creeps a lot more top end. That's what was boosted in here. Some really good top end to get that just kind of breaking through. Now, we're getting red on the master bus because I think we have a little bit too much drums coming through there right now. So I'll probably bring up drum comp down. It's never over. Well, plus it's the vocal too. So if we bring the vocal down. Long as you stick with me, we'll take a ride over the mountain. Get on, I'm gonna set you free. It's as good as it's ever gonna. So I'm trying to shoot. So I brought the vocal down a good bit more there. I brought that parallel drum comp down a little bit more. I'm trying to shoot for this -6 here. That's where I want to be at. I don't want to get up above. I want to have some space there yet. So far we've put the bus drums back up to 0. We brought the guitars down, bring the vocal down. And then the other thing I was going to show you here with this Scheps, something that Kenny Andrews did was with the compressor, he used a VCA compressor, and then he had a ratio. Now right now it's set 2:1 and the attack at 8. He was saying do a fast or a slower attack. So we're going to set that up around 11 there, with a pretty fast release. I'm going to turn the ratio up to 4:1 is where he had it. And his thing was this compressor on the master bus, it's going to wait until that longer attack. It's going to wait for the drum to come through and let more of it come through and then just kind of squash that down. So that more of the transients of the drums get through. Now, he was saying use this VCA, which I'll do that. I tried it with the FET, and I thought the FET actually livened up the transients in the drums. So listen to it right now. This is with the compressor off. Gonna be, you gotta learn to roll me. Let's go. Let's go. Whoa, whoa. Here's with the compressor on with the VCA. Go. Pulled the lead guitar down some. Now, let's listen with the FET now. So, I think with the FET makes the kick punch a lot harder. Let's just solo out the drums here, and we'll do it again, the VCA. So let's see, we'll solo out the drum bus. Let's just move this here, so we're on the same, kind of hitting the same path. I'm going to create a little loop here just so we're hitting the same pathway. So let's go back to the VCA with the drums soloed. Okay, now let's turn the FET on and see if that makes the kick punch more. Makes that kick punch a lot more. So that's pretty cool. So I like that idea. Makes the snare pop more and definitely, makes that kick pop a good bit more. So let's get out of the solo mode here and listen to it again. And we'll just listen to with, let's do the VCA. Or actually, let's just stay in FET. We'll turn the comp off, so no compression, and then we'll listen to it with the compression with the FET. All right, let's listen to that same piece again with the compressor and the FET. Definitely a lot more power on the drums there once you get that that compressor, and it works better to me, my ears, in that FET mode than did the VCA, which is what Kenny Andrews, he was using like a Waves, what was it, the Waves SSL bus compression. So this seems to be working pretty good. So again, it's just a longer attack, so it's waiting longer for the drum to come through. and then squashing it out. So that sounds pretty good now. So let's listen to it again. So let's see, we got the lead guitar turned down a little bit. We turned the vocals down. We turned our regular guitars down. And now we've added in the compressor we've changed on the master bus there. So let's just see if we're getting closer with the more balanced sound in the mix. Closer. So I think that sounded better. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just play the whole song for you. I'll play a good bit here. Let's just play from the beginning. And let's see how it sounds to you guys. And I want to know, are the guitars still too loud? Just tell me. Let's take another little listen. I think it sounds better. I think the drums, I'm getting a little high on my master stereo out there. So I think I need to pull the drums down a little bit more. Just crank everything back down a little bit more. So we can stay at this -6 here is what we're trying to do. So I think it's going to sound better. So I'm going to do those things. I'm going to tweak them back down. And I really appreciate everybody giving me the feedback on that with the guitars. So, you know, all you other guitar players out there, when you're making your stuff, just keep that in mind. We got to make sure we got the power of the drums there too, or else the song just doesn't have the drive to it. So that's all for my follow-up video. I hope that little Ken Andrews compression trick helped. I'd love to know if other people are doing that, and if I'm doing that correctly there. So you can leave me some comments on that one too. So that's all for this one. Hit the subscribe little bell, because next I'm starting a new song tomorrow. I'm going to start working on drum tracks because I've got something cool. I had one song I was going to get ready to do, but then the other night I got inspired with something else and I got some fun stuff happen. So hit the subscribe little bell, and hope you get to play some guitar today. Take care.